How y'all doing?
At this point, Joe, how much is installed and how much is left?
Look, I think a lot of your core concepts are in, and now it's just little adaptations of it, or just different ways of getting different people where they are. But your core elements are kind of in. We're always, throughout the whole season, we'll always have little nuances of, hey, once you get good at a certain play, hey, what's the next thing off of it? Right now, just kind of focusing on some of the little things right now, without throwing a lot more at them.
What's the balance preseason for you to get into a flow, calling plays with all of these new pieces, and also not putting the complete book out there for everyone else to see?
Yeah, my big thing is just I just want to be able to let the guys go out there and just play fast in the preseason, right? No thinking, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be crazy. It's not about the scheme right now. It's just about seeing what the guys can do. There's no game planning involving in preseason. So to me, obviously, it's just, the comfort level of just being back in the box and just calling it and, different guys on the field. But, to me, it's just keeping it simple for the guys just so we can evaluate them.
Joe, whatever questions you had back in April on how this team is going to replace Stephon Diggs, how fewer questions might you have now that you've seen what is out there and what they can do out of practice and training camp?
Look, I've been pleased with how the guys are working together in the offense and just understanding, the identity of that room. There's a lot of targets obviously missing from last year. We have a great football player at the worst wide receiver position, and we lost a few other guys at the wide receiver room, and so you don't just replace him. But I've loved how the guys have worked, how they've kind of taken to this offense, to the identity of the offense, and how they're going to be utilized. And it's been a lot of fun, just their selfless mindset, and I'm excited to kind of see that kind of take off.
Joe, what did you like about Josh Allen's camp?
I've liked. I can go on and on. I've loved his mindset, his work ethic, his attention to detail with everything. And that's not to say anything's different than in the past, but, we have a lot of new guys. And so his communication with his offensive line, with the wide receivers, staying after practice, making sure, they're seeing it the same way. You take for granted when you're playing with guys for a certain amount of time, the frequency and just being able to see, understand, just look at each other and understand what that means. And so just seeing him just kind of take the bull by the horns, it's been a lot of fun that I can kind of take a step back and, I catch myself in sometimes meetings, I'm like, I'm talking too much, like, you got this. And so he's been outstanding, watching his mechanics, his footwork, how detailed he is with it. Really pleased with how he's working.
Joe, with a guy like, how is the progression gone with Ray Davis so far? I know it's got a couple of ball security issues, but overall, what do you see from him, especially since he got here?
Yeah, I've loved everything about Ray Davis. The way that he works, he can play in all three phases. He can run the football, he can catch passes out of the backfield, and he's a good protector. Kind of like what we said last week. A lot of it comes down once pads are on. The running back position in practice, you don't get an opportunity to make a lot of guys miss. You don't get the feel sometimes because everything's stud or tag off. And so that's what I'm excited to see. Getting opportunities in preseason, just seeing how Ray and the rest of the running backs kind of play, when they can get tackled.
Joe, with a guy like Mitch Trubisky, if he's needed to play, it's going to be with the starters. But it's hard to get backup quarterback snaps with the starters, especially in the preseason. How do you balance that, judge that, and get him ready in case he is needed at some point during the year?
Well, fortunately, a lot of, I've said all along, we don't really have a depth chart in terms, obviously, the quarterback position, but, a lot of the receivers that are rolling with Mitch are the same guys that have been rolling with Josh, and same with Shane in some of those situations. And so, there's a reason that, Mitch is here. There's a reason that we brought the quarterback room that we have that, to play quarterback is really hard in the NFL, much less a backup quarterback when you have to be ready to go without taking any reps. So you got to be an extremely bright guy. Got to be able to take it without getting the reps and be able to see it. And a guy like Mitch, he does a great job. Mitch and Shane, they do a great job of when Josh is in, they might not get that rep, but they're seeing the demeanor, how the guy's running the routes, communicating with Josh, so that when he's in there, it's like, hey, Josh saw Keon run this route like this. I might not get that rep with Keon, but Josh communicating with him. So if I do get that, that's how Keon's. I know it's doesn't really answer your question. It's tough. It's always tough to be a backup quarterback. It's the reality of it. But we feel confident in the guys that we have, and their approach, their work ethic. That if they have to go in, that they'll be able to do a good job.
As our time in Rochester winds down and we've gotten to see several practices live and watch them back on tape, and as you've also gotten to see this offense take on life with the guys running through things and understanding things, what have you learned about your group so far?
The biggest thing is I really like the character of the guys that we have. And that's so big to me. And I believe that you got to obviously have talent, but you combine talent with character, and I believe you're going to have success. And so, at the end of the day, we got to go out there and we got to play football, and we got to throw and catch, we got to score, we have to have a good offense. But I think with the type of people that we have, it allows us to do some of the things that we want to do. And so I've been really pleased at how the guys have worked together, bonded, had success, cheered for others' success, and so stuff that we got to continue to build on.
Joe, when you have an offense that has so much integration of tight ends and running backs as targets, what are the challenges for Josh as opposed to years where most of his throws would have gone to wide receivers?
At the end of the day, it's, hey, execute the play that's called, and trusting that, the week of preparation, whether we're in the game of, hey, if a tight end or running back is first in the progression, if he's there, regardless of who it is, trust that the guys are there, and if they're not, progress, and, not necessarily like, hey, we're calling this play, this ball, even though we're calling it has to go wide receiver. It's, as long as he just continues to play within the system and trust that we're going to get other people involved, and, the rest will take care of itself.
Talking about the tight ends, what have you seen?
I mean, you guys, I'm sure feel him. Look, Rob Boris is an incredible tight end coach, and you're getting all those tight ends rolling. They've all had a really good camp, which has been a lot of fun. Zach's personality, I mean, I drink a lot of coffee or a lot of caffeine. I think his is just pure natural. He can run for days, and he's a lot of fun. Just you enjoy being around Zach, and he's had some opportunities in camp, and he's made the most of it, and love everything about Zach.
Joe, you've got a lot of young and inexperienced guys on that second offensive line that are like people off that group that will have to start to it. Which of those guys have to start to?
Look, it's again, it's so hard. The same thing when you're you don't get a lot of just full live reps, with the guys, but a lot of the guys that we've had rolling in that second group, the Vandys, the Alec Anderson, some of the younger guys, seeing them get a little more opportunities than they've had in the past, I've been excited about. We have some of the guys that we've drafted, just getting them more reps, getting them some with the twos, some with the ones, without singling out any particular person. I've been excited about the depth that we've had, and Coach Crum does a good job of, like, hey, you know what, Dion, I'm gonna give you a couple reps right now. Go in there, whoever it is, go in there with the ones, and just to see what they're going to be about. And honestly, offensive line, they get the most opportunities in preseason. Like, it'll all take care of itself. And so once the lights come on, you can see, as long as they continue to use technique, how it'll all play out. You guys are easy. Thank you.